Kratos, not right now. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Abby, and today I'm going to sew on a machine for the first time in 6 years. If you hear random noises, I have 2 cats in this room. That's right, 2 cats. We got another cat last weekend and we're trying to assimilate her into our life. Kratos is very interested in making friends, but mostly play attacking her. So, in my Halloween video from last year, I did a lot of hand sewing to create bat wings for Kratos. So I'm excited to have an actual machine this time because hand sewing takes way too long. I also have a pattern for a dress. There's multiple dresses on here. It's kind of the same dress. It having been 6 years since I was in a sewing class, remembering how to even read the backs of these patterns is kind of foggy, and I know Google is a thing and I could have just looked it up, but I wanted to see if I could do it without looking it up because I wanted to test my skills slash how much I can remember from high school, because I know a lot of people say that you don't remember a lot of what you learn in high school, and I kind of want to prove myself wrong and see if I can remember how to read and follow a pattern. This is a McCall's pattern. I bought this before I had my sewing machine. I got it in case I had to make clothes for a film project that I was working on. We ended up not needing to do that, so I never actually used the pattern. So today is the first time I'm even opening this and looking at all of this wonderful light brown tissue paper. Okay. Oh, it comes with some instructions about what the markings mean on the pattern, so that should help me because I don't remember. And I know I'm testing my knowledge, but hey, if it comes with a cheat sheet, I get to use that because this is real life now. It also shows you how to lay out the pattern pieces. So I have decided to go for dress C. I only have 2 different colors of fabric. Walmart does not have the best fabric selection, so you gotta work with what you got. I'm very happy with what I chose though, so I'm not really gonna complain about that. And the reason why I'm happy about the pattern that I have is because it doesn't have any buttons or zippers or anything extra that would make this dress harder than it is already gonna be. I think it's gonna be an easy starting point for me is what I'm trying to say. The reason that I've never done one of these before is because I've never had a sewing machine and I just got one. So I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to use it. The way that I always start is cutting out the pattern pieces that I need. It looks like I'm gonna need almost every single piece. I am going with size 12. So anywhere where it says 12, I need to cut. I'm not sure what all of these lines mean. Okay, so I think that's correct. Now I just have to cut out every other last piece. I think I might switch this over to a time lapse because I think this is gonna kind of take a long time and I don't wanna have to deal with 42 gigs of footage. There's a lot of Kratos running around over the table, and for the most part it didn't bother me, but there were a couple of things that definitely did bother me when he was doing that. For example, I got worried that he was going to burn himself playing around with the iron or possibly knocking it off the table. He would also sit directly on the fabric and scrunch it all up. At one point he tried to eat my pins right out of the patterns, and cats should not be eating pins, so it was a good thing that I caught him before he actually swallowed anything, and I made sure to keep an extra careful eye on the pins and him after that. All that being said though, I did really love having my little craft buddy with me. Okay, so I have a bit of a confession to make. I had to look up what the grain line and salvage edge means because that's what it wants it on, and I'm not exactly sure if I'm doing that correctly. Also, what it says is it wants you to do 1 and 3, like right next to each other. This pattern piece, you want this on a fold. So now I'm trying to figure out, do I fold it all up and do it one at a time, or do I do it like the way that it says to? I think I'm gonna fold it because I don't know how else to do things. It's just gonna be kind of a mess. I also didn't realize starting this how long the video was going to be, and I wanted to try something else beyond time-lapse, which of course you don't see right now, but later I decided that I wanted to record the whole thing and just pick pieces of what I was doing and put those together, and the overall effect is longer, but it feels more like it's in real time. So I wanted to know what your guys' thoughts were on that, whether you like time-lapse or whether you like little pieces picked out in time better, because I could definitely do one or the other. There were a couple of choices that I had to make while cutting out this pattern. One of them, I wanted the dress to be longer, or I thought I wanted the dress to be longer, but I ended up having to cut it shorter because I didn't have enough fabric in the darker color. So that was an issue. And another problem that I had while cutting out the pattern was I forgot in patterns, when you get to triangles that are pointed inwards, I forgot that on patterns you're supposed to cut outwards so that later when you're matching up the fabric pieces, it will match up easier because the arrows will point to each other. And I forgot that that was something that you had to do until about halfway through cutting the patterns, and then even still, I would accidentally cut off where the triangles were supposed to be. So it's not something that will drastically change the way that the pattern comes out, but it will cause an issue a little bit down the road for lining up, and it was just more of a hassle for me to try to figure things out. Hello. I have now cut out everything, and I just need to follow the sewing directions. But before I can use the sewing machine, I need to figure out how to put my thread on an empty bobbin. So let's start with that. So I have my clear bobbin here, and I have my thread. If I can remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the thread goes here, and there's a picture of a bobbin here. Guys, I figured it out with the instructions, but still. I honestly don't know if I've done that remotely correct. So I think I'm ready to start putting the pieces together and sewing it all up. So I can't remember which one number 1 is, and that's bad. No, yeah, this is 1. You forget a lot about how to follow patterns when you don't do patterns for a long time. I know people that sew a lot and don't even use patterns, which is kind of something I've always wanted to be able to do, and then I didn't have a sewing machine for a long time. I kind of love and then also kind of hate making something that I'm gonna wear for myself. I love it because there's a sense of pride in doing it for yourself, but then I hate it because I see every tiny flaw in the sewing and in the fabric. Jersey is very stretchy, so messing up like everything, I feel like is pretty normal. The other side's fine. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna sew this other side and then get back to that. The only issue is I should have not pinned things the way that I pinned them if I was gonna do that, but off we go. Some people just sew right over the pins. I'm too scared to do that because I know you can sometimes break your needle or break a pin right into your eye, and I'm not about that life. So there's that seam. It's pretty good. Ow. Keep getting stabbed with all these needles. Starting to get a little quick here. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Alright, it wants me to stay stitch the other long piece. I'm gonna do very similar things to it. So it's kind of gonna be a lot of the same thing, but I don't know what you were expecting from a sewing video. gonna be the same where it wants the right side facing the right side. Cannot abide by that. This is where you get to watch some thrilling stitch ripping action. Okay. I'm just gonna re-sew this area. All fixed. And kind of no matter what I do, something is gonna be loose somewhere. Oh, great. Uh-oh, now I have stuff stuck. No idea what happened there. Let's try that again. We have run into some serious technical difficulties here. It is now 30 minutes later from when I started having issues. I don't know what was causing it or really how to fix it, but I switched out the bobbin and I tried it and it seemed to be doing okay, so I don't know if it was a bobbin issue or what. So I'm going to continue on and see if I don't destroy this garment, because that would make me really sad. Okay, so that's the furthest I've been able to get since the issue. So I think it's resolved. It's really not an easy thing to tell. So now it wants me to stitch the front and the back together twice over. It's supposed to be once at the 5/8 and then another at 1/4. I've decided to do a zigzag stitch. Or I told it to. There we go. Beautiful. So that's now double stitched, and I will get to the other side. This is where Taylor's chart would be helpful. So I have the sleeves done, and I need to attach them to the dress, then worry about the collar, and then there's going to be a lot of hemming and finishing up, but very close to being done. So that's one armhole. We're gonna stitch this in. Then I'm gonna pause and see if I'm doing things correctly because I'm not 100% sure. So we're gonna find out. So, not gonna lie right now, I have no idea what the pattern is trying to tell me to do. I have a guess, and I'm just going to sew it the way that I think I should sew it, because I honestly cannot follow directions apparently. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm gonna be the one wearing it. I don't know what my husband is making right now. It's extremely sizzly and it smells amazing. So I believe this to be correct. Start in the back and work our way forward. What the? Okay, clearly I need to redo this whole thing. I don't know what I did, but it looks like a drunk person sewed this together. Alright, I'm gonna seam rip this and then I'll be back, because if I record myself seam ripping, it's gonna be a very long video. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but it could very well be half an hour. Okay, so I'm wearing it, and there are a couple things that I'm not exactly happy with, so I'm going to do a few alterations and then I'll be done. Okay, sorry I don't have the best audio right now. My microphone is being used / I haven't used it this whole time, so I didn't see a point in doing it at the end because I forgot about it at the beginning. So here's the dress. I realized after I had done it, I should have probably taken some footage of before I did any alterations, but basically I can just tell you, I had sleeves that went to here and they were pretty clunky and I didn't want those, so I cut them all the way up short. My husband also said it made it look more like a dress and less like pajamas, so that's a plus. I also took it in right at the waist. So as I said, and as you can see, there's no buttons, no zippers, no anything. So I have a tough time saying it was an easy dress because it took me all day long and I had some terrible issues that I had to deal with, and I'm not exactly sure how I feel about certain finished aspects of it. I also feel like I need to put a tag somewhere on this dress because I don't know which way is front and which way is back. I know the pattern specifically said that there was a front and a back. I feel like the back scoops more than the front though. And so I'm wondering if I'm wearing it backwards. All in all though, I think I did a pretty good job for not having used a sewing machine in 6 years. I also think I did all right in the alterations department. If you look really closely, it kind of looks bad in spots, but no one is hopefully inspecting my seams that closely in real life. That being said, I most likely will want to continue doing some sewing on my channel. I'm not exactly sure what or when or like anything like that, but so I guess we'll see. Hopefully I can do better next time because that's what I always want to do. Anyways, that's it for this video, but I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye! This is my new cat.